Now, as you guys know, the LeBron 18 has just dropped, but already I'm seeing some stuff that could be quite concerning. As you guys can tell from the title in the video, is the LeBron 17 better than the 18, or is the 18 better than the 17? Make sure you guys stay tuned. We're gonna get right into it and discuss the details of both shoes in depth. That way you guys know what you're getting before you buy. Today, we're gonna switch it up from your normal review, and we're actually gonna do a comparison video. A lot of the reference material I'm using is actually from Jacques Slade's review. We obviously know some of the features. He did such a good job. Don't miss a second, because it could be very important, man, before you buy them 18s, bruh. Right off the bat, I gotta say, man, I'm super disappointed in the design of the box. I mean, really, how do you go from such a fire gold and black design on this box to that? Seriously, it looks like a shipping box. It literally looks like I ordered some table from China and it came in the shipping box, man. Nike, you gotta do better. I mean, when you're talking about a flagship model like the LeBron, some of these colorways are going for $260 Canadian. So that's pretty crazy, man. I mean, I thought New Balance was bad. Huge ball drop on Nike's behalf. I believe that they should have done something special for the 18. Engineered to the exact specification of LeBron James? I don't think so. So let's move on to the actual shoe itself. The liner. Now, the lining of the LeBron 18 is okay. Here we have the LeBron 17 in the red colorway. This shoe doesn't come with the same lining as the LeBron 18, as you can see here. The LeBron 18 has a separate kind of neoprene inner that actually really feels nice when you slide the shoe on, to tell you the truth. I don't know why they don't put extra cushioning. They should be putting extra cushioning in these LeBron shoes, because he's a big guy, man. All these heel striking and a lot of the athletic feats that LeBron and somebody LeBron's size does, they really should be looking after the ankle support and other things of that nature, I feel like. So could you imagine if they had something like the Kamikaze retros cushioning or the Ewing cushioning in a shoe like this with that huge max air unit? These things will be the comfiest shoes ever to wear in basketball, period. Obviously the price is raising, so why aren't we getting more materials and more value for what we're paying for? Every year it feels like they're just taking away more and more from these shoes. The shoe kind of is one piece, whereas the LeBron 18 actually has a separate piece of liner in the back towards the heel, as you guys can see. So let's move on. From what I can remember, or actually I have it written down here, the actual colorway that Jacques Slade reviewed was the black bleached aqua, topaz, and gold colorway. Now we know later on in the year there's supposed to be 3 or 4 more colorways about to drop. Hopefully those colorways can mix it up a bit more and we can expect to see different materials, because that's what they like to do with these colorways. Sometimes they'll use better materials on the later drops as opposed to the earlier ones, because they might fix some things that were technically wrong with the shoe. So that's why usually I always skip the first couple colorways in any shoe, because yeah, they work out the kinks and then they re-release, and a lot of times they re-release even better. So as I said, that colorway that Jacques reviewed was actually pretty fire. Looked like there were 2 separate colorways on each shoe. Now, another difference, as you guys can tell, might be the Knitposite 2.0. So on the original LeBron, we have the Knitposite 1.0. This stuff is very sturdy, has a lot of support to it. But to tell you the truth, the 2.0 actually looks like it's gonna do a better job at retaining your foot and having more structure and keeping that Knitposite from moving around a lot. It looks like they have what are called rails or guardrails, and they basically run through the Knitposite and allow a little bit of structural stability. So that might be a benefit to the Knitposite. As far as 2.0 goes, the Knitposite itself is probably physically stronger. So I'm actually looking forward to that improvement. Now, Knitposite in general is pretty cool. Usually what Nike does is they'll make it out of one piece, they'll wrap it around the shoe, and then they'll put the shoe together. So it's much better for overall stability because it's one solid shoe and there's less stitching. Don't get me started on the tongue. Okay, now here's one of the biggest problems I have with the LeBron 18 is the tongue setup. Why in God's name would you put air units on a tongue? As you can see, they have clear translucent bubbles directly on the tongue of the shoe. Now, as you can see on the LeBron 17, we don't have that. We actually have a straight, a normal tongue. It's a normal tongue. It's functional. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me, man. You know why? Because when that bubble pops, those shoes are unwearable, man. You're gonna have a sharp piece of dry plastic stabbing you in the foot. And the worst part is that the translucent air unit on the tongue goes all the way through. Even if the air bubble doesn't pop, okay? Like, let's assume the thing's built crazy and it doesn't pop. What's gonna happen is after a while, I can guarantee you, they're gonna get cloudy and there's gonna be no going back after that, man. Another thing I noticed about the translucent air units is that they're really soft. It doesn't seem to have much air pressure inside of those units, which leads me to believe that they're going to pop pretty easily, man. I mean, people are pretty hard on their shoes. That is something that, as far as I know, hasn't been done since the old pump days. We used to pump up the shoe. But even then, it wasn't a translucent plastic air unit that's sitting on the front of your foot directly underneath laces that could easily pop though. Another thing I didn't really like about the tongue was that it looked really large and flappy. If you look at this tongue, it's still very symmetrical to the shoe. There's not much width difference. It doesn't, but at the same time, you got to open these shoes up really well to get in them, as they do run narrow. Most people know that LeBron 17s are a narrow shoe. You usually want to go up half a size to even a full size sometimes. Me, if you want a super snug foot, yeah, you go true to size, but man, I don't want my toes bleeding, so I go up half a size, especially if I'm wearing them all day and I'm not necessarily playing ball and I want to do a lot of walking. The next detail is the cushioning setup. Now, on the LeBron 18, as far as we know, we have a new design feature where they actually stacked Cushlon on top of the Air Max unit. So LeBron 17s and LeBrons in general are known to have some of the biggest air units in the game. They're super big. Helps him with impact protection. Obviously, he's doing a lot of crazy dunks. He's coming down hard. You need that protection, man. Instead of having a zoom pod and separated pods in the forefront of the shoe, what they've actually done is they've made it one solid piece. It looks as though it might have a little bit more court feel than these, simply because they're not potted out and separated in that way. But what I'm actually seeing is a giant Air Max unit, and as you can see here, it's actually looking pretty solid. Now, I was always concerned about the separation from these shoes for somebody that is really hard and side to side movement, or you're doing a lot of crossovers. I'm always wondering if these pods are gonna come apart, but they never do. I mean, sometimes on some of these softer materials, you have some of the pieces of plastic flying off and stuff like that. I know that's been known to happen. There is a stacked Cushlon on top of the Air Max, and that's a huge design feature that they changed. The heel section on the LeBron 18 is actually looking pretty good, man. I'm really happy with the design concept on there. The heel seems to be super sturdy, and it looks like it's built for a LeBron style beatdown, to tell you the truth. Heel and ankle support are super important. You want to have longevity in your feet, man. You want to be playing ball forever. You don't want to be breaking your ankles or getting your ankles broke. As you can see here, the difference between the two is that this doesn't have a separate piece of plastic. They kind of have this little bit of a midsole containment unit here that's plastic. I mean, that's actually really solid, to tell you the truth, but it doesn't go up as high as on the 18, as you can see here, because it kind of looks cool, to tell you the truth, man. Moving on to the Outsole Traction. Now, they've tend to move away from that common herringbone design. I guess they're just trying to switch it up and trying to be innovative. As you can see here, they have a sort of like, it's like a diamond sort of shape. As far as dust pickup on the court, you're gonna have to wipe your shoes every now and then. It just is what it is, but they should perform well indoors or outdoors. Now, we do know that depending on the color of the sole that you get will determine how hard the material is. So according to Nightwing, obviously gum soles have the best traction. If you can get gum sole on any shoe, you're a winner. To tell you the truth, these LeBrons, they're sort of like a semi-translucent. So even though this looks black and this looks red and it looks like a solid color, it's pretty translucent. Obviously, the compound that the plastic is made of makes a huge difference in the traction. Now the LeBron 18 clearly has some really nice angles. The thing looks like a crazy moving sports car or something, and I love that. I love when my shoes look really fast and really racy, so I'm really happy with that element design. Lots of nice sharp angles, so Petrie did a really good job, at least in the design element. Now as far as the actual tech is where I have the problem, once again, as you guys know. That tongue, man. So the next colorways to drop are the LA by Day and the multicolor. I believe the multicolor drops on October 9th, I believe. And I believe the LA by Day drops on November 16th. These LeBron 18s are already in stores at select retailers, so make sure you guys look out for them. So, basic recap. Major changes: Knitposite 2.0, stacked Cushlon, no more zoom pods, design on the heel, design on the insole, big flappy doofy stupid tongue that's gonna pop for sure, elastics in the Knitposite. Yeah, the overall design of the shoe does look fire. It probably does a lot more justice on feet. What are your guys' thoughts on the LeBron 18? Do you think they're fire? Do you think they're better than the LeBron 17? What are your experiences? Do you have the LeBron 18 now? Did you get the first colorway? And is the tongue of the shoe a problem for you? Let me know in the comments. Make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe button. So we're gonna see how these perform. If somebody's air pocket has already popped, let me know in the comments. I want to hear about it. Once again, I'd like to thank and show my respects to Jacques Slade for providing me with such good reference information for my own review. You can check him out on his channel. Links in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. Make sure you don't miss another episode of the God himself. I got more retros for you guys. October is going to be a crazy month. I have 4 special October releases for you guys that are mostly Halloween dedicated, so make sure you don't miss that. By the way, if you guys like this wonderful painting I have in the background, I will provide links to the artist in the description. Hit her up, she's amazing. She does all kinds of custom work. Anything you can imagine, she can do. Back with another review next week. Peace.